Hello and welcome to a politics special with me, Alfapiomega, concerning the multiplayer game that we're playing for quite some time now. And first of all, let me start with this. The game is just a game. And we had a bit of a grudge in between some of the players lately that I noticed. It's sort of like, yeah, it reminds me of historical events. Actually, they really hold old things against each other, old betrayals, old things that were said, old acts of hostility. And yeah, it makes the game really interesting. But let me again. Shin said that, and I'm gonna say that as well. It's just a game. So all I'm gonna say here is just considering Poland and Russia. It's not considering me and Shin. Actually, me and Shin are really good friends. So am I and FTR, who's playing Germany, the biggest enemy of Russia in the game. But still, we're really good friends. At least I consider him a really good friend, and I like to think that he does the same with me. But still, we are able to keep this in the game, and it's really fun to plot against each other and try to overthrow each other. But when I was listening to Shin's response, I figured out one thing. There's been a lot of things that happened during the game which you guys don't know about. There really hasn't been that many open conflicts except the World War, which you know about. But there's been a lot of politics and hidden things going around which I couldn't talk about up until now. And I wanted to make a politics special for a long time. I plan to do a huge, and I still plan to do that, a huge summary of all the events when this multiplayer game is over, to explain some things that you might have seen and might not have all understood. Sort of like a review of the interactions between the players, the way they acted on each other. And this might be one of the big problems that I see in Shin's point of view, because most of the things he talked about in his response might be the way he see Russia in, I think he was playing for 4 sessions now, but a lot of these go way behind hidden centuries, things that happened dozens and dozens of years ago, where he wasn't there. And I'm not trying to say, when he explained his point of view, I was like, okay, that makes sense. Actually, that makes sense. If we take Poland and take it as it is, it makes sense. A lot of sense, actually. For me, for you, those of you who did not watch that video, it's a video response to my last video before this one. Go there and watch it and see why Poland did what it did. And he did a great thing. Actually, he brought a lot of things into the game, and we have to react to that. And there's gonna be a war, which I'm gonna talk about in a moment. But you notice this is not a video at all. It's just a recording. I'm talking to my microphone, trying to make you guys understand, I guess, a lot of things that has been happening there, because I was reading through my comments, through his comments, and I would like to set some things straight. There's a lot of things he was talking about, and in case you will have any more questions, just feel free to ask. At this point, there's really no need for me to hide anything, because Russia is on the verge of collapse. It is. And in case all the enemies of Russia now will advance on it, it's going to be a bloody and very sad ending for the mighty Russia that I have created. Now, let me start with this. You all should know by now that there's a thing called the Regan pact, which unites several nations. Actually, around Africa and Europe, And this pact was created a long, long time ago and has a lot of history that we shared. I don't know how much you remember from that, but the Regan Pact was created originally between Novgorod, the Merchant Republic of Novgorod, and the monastic state of Teutonic Order, as a, I guess, a defensive pact against Lithuania, against Poland, well, basically against Polish-Lithuanian threat, and also against the threat of Golden Horde, which I was not so much afraid of, as I was tributary to them. But still, Mongols running rampant around my country. Well, it's an old pact. We named it the Regan Pact after the city of Riga, which was in Teutonic Order, today's Prussia. And, well, not today's, I mean in the game, today, you know, in EU3 today, up to the last part we made, it's in Prussia. And there's been a lot of things happening since then. So right now I'm gonna try to comment on several things that happened that Shin was talking about, and I would like to set straight. So let's start with imperialism. Russia has been called imperialistic by many, and in a way it might have been true, but let me just set this a bit straight. A long time ago, because yeah, there's been let's start with this. A long time ago, there has been a war between France and I believe it was still Novgorod. It was the first time Russia was at war with France. And if I can remember, there were really two wars. First one was just the Russian war against France and Sweden, which we lost. And by the time one of the player of France offered a white peace to the Novgorodian knyaz, saying that he would not demand any reparations from Novgorod for its intrusion against Sweden, and that it will not enforce any land cessations, nor it will ask for monetary compensation on one single account, and that is that Russia will never ever try to advance into Europe in a way that would be hostile to France and its allies. And up until now, I can say that we kept our word. In a way, there's been several occasions where we did not, but all of those are, well, I say documented, and they have its reason. One of these were the dissolution of Lithuania, where we took parts, but still this was considered another hostile act. Also, there was cessation of 2 provinces from Sweden, and I guess that's all. There were never really any other gains for us on our western border, because we kept our word. I agreed to the current player of France at the time, which was Tawan Torres, if I'm not mistaken, that I will never advance on the Western Front, and I never did. One thing that Shin pointed out is that I have been always advancing to the east, eating up all the small nations and just going berserk, but I did this voluntarily. I never ever wanted to turn to the west, never wanted to advance into Poland. If you noticed, Poland at its current state was basically built by Russia and its allies. We split Lithuania in between Prussia, Russia, and Poland, and I think that the state that has grown the most by this was Poland. If I'm not mistaken, at that time it was Mr. Doxology playing Poland. We had several deals how to deal with the Lithuanian threat. I declared I want several provinces, including Kiev and Kursk, but I think that that was all. Really, it was just the far eastern border of Lithuania, and up until then, we just supported Poland in gaining its access to the sea. We even negotiated a treaty between Prussia and Poland when there was, let's say, heightened tensions between them over access to the sea, because there was a problem with Pomerania being eaten by Denmark, and Denmark had to cede this territory to Poland after we won the First World War, as many players call it, also viewers. So this was basically what happened. Poland was, well, I don't want to say, like, because a lot of you call, especially Shin, so he said that Russia has created, like saying subject states or satellites. I'm not sure what term he actually used, but it was not the intention. It's basically each of the player had his own agenda. For Poland, it was if I remember what Mr. Doxology wanted, it was going all the way from Pomerania down to the region of Azov or the Balkans, or in any ways gaining access to the southern seas. He could not colonize because he didn't have a course on any provinces, so he couldn't build ships and couldn't really expand. But it was okay with him. He said, I just want to do this, and then I want to westernize, and I want to create blah blah blah. He had his own plan. And I, as a player, and so did the other ones, we all just went for it. We said, okay, we're gonna support you. There were Russian armies present in Poland hunting the rebels when he was trying to deal with stability issues. There were Russian troops in Naples when they had their problems, and vice versa. There were Swedish troops that helped us during the westernization. There were Swedish troops and the troops of Naples, the troops from Naples and troops from Poland hunting rebels down in Russia during its hard times. So, because what Shin really didn't, what he wasn't fair in, as Poland, I guess I might see how he might have thought that, but it isn't really true. The Regan pact is not Russia and its allies; it's allies altogether. Naples, for example, wanted to recreate the Justinian Empire, and that's what he went for. Shin said that I cut off my allies from advancing to the east. Again, that's not true. I asked many times when we were dealing with Spain, no, not Spain, Sweden, me and Naples when they were fighting in the Balkans. I said, guys, I'm not gonna go down to Egypt. I don't have any interest in Egypt, and I know that you do. And they said, yes, we want these parts and these parts. And I said, okay, I'm just gonna go down. I want Fars as its a merchant center, and that's about it. And we negotiated with Naples which provinces they will want, which I will want. We split them. Basically, there was no interest in gaining anything of the Timurids. I just continued destroying the Timurids and colonizing. And in the case any of my allies would approach me and said, look, we need this province, we would strike a deal. There was never really a problem, and Poland had to see this. He said many times that we did not support him. We did not do this, we did not do that. Well, he never asked. Sweden many times asked that it needed to rebuild its fleet. All of us donated, all of us sent money. Whenever there were rebels that people didn't know how to deal with them, we went for that. Poland declared when Shin took over that they want to fortify, that they want to build its armies, deal with the stability issues, and we supported that in case he would reach to us, but he never needed anything. There were Russian troops ready to deal with rebels, ready to support him in any way, to guarantee him against his enemies. So were the Swedish troops, so were the Neapolitan troops. We were always there, ready to help him. The fact that he never asked as the Polish leader is another thing. He never really participated. All the time he was just more and more conservative and dealing with these things. Now I know why, but before that I turned the blind eye to it because I thought that he's having his own problems, own agendas. I saw he's building forts. I said, okay, his idea is to just fortify, create a sort of a hedgehog nation. You know, he said he does not want any colonies. That's why we never offered him any colonies. Like, it's not our position to force an allied nation to take colonies from us. When he publicly declared he doesn't want it, so he can't be surprised that we did not work with him as much as we could when he himself did not work with us at all. I'm sure you saw many times in my games the chat, the way we talk, the way the troops move, the way the requests are made, the way we deal with each other. So it really isn't anything as a client state. The map just looks the way it does because it's shaped that way. There was never real intention to create, what does he call it, a buffer. And you know, the funny thing is that for a long time before he betrayed me, I kept a large amount of troops near his borders and inside his borders as well. In the case there would be a German intrusion into Poland, there would be thousands and thousands of Russian soldiers dying on the border between Germany and Poland, ready to die, ready to protect him. Not because we would, you know, how could Germany be interested in any territory from Russia? They would not be. They would want his Polish borders. And there was nearly a huge conflict that broke up before he took Poland, because Germany took some Polish territories away from it. But due to several reasons, Russia wasn't able to intervene, nor were our allies. So we just let it pass and took FDR's word. This is not going to continue. But still, we were always ready to defend him. It wasn't like, you know, storm, prepare on the Polish-Russian borders when the German troops reach us. No, the plan was always to hold the border and not allow anyone to invade into Poland. So yeah, I guess that's one thing. Another thing concerning the imperialism. There was a lot of talk and a lot of misconception about what really happened during the Ming War. When Hindustan decided to have a one-on-one war with Ming, it is true that I was against it. One sole reason, which I will talk later about, but it's true I was against it, and it's true I wanted to intervene, but I wasn't threatening anyone. I was reaching out to the player of Ming, saying, okay, this is not a fair fight, and it never has been. Hindustan was much richer, in a much better situation, and Ming was already at war. It was attacked by Spain as well. There were many nations attacking it. There were thousands of rebels in it. Like half of it was collapsing, and me as Russia were seeing this as an unfair fight. That's why I was all the time talking with the Ming player, saying, look, accept my help, just call me into arms in case you don't want this fight, because it's unfair. And the Ming player was talking to me and saying, no, I don't want you intervening, I agree to one-on-one, and it's gonna be on one-on-one. So I said, at least let me clear the rebels out for you, so you can deal with the war, and you don't have to deal, you know, with your baglines being attacked by rebels. So that's why we cleared out the rebels. That's why Russia was in Ming. And yes, it is in Ming's best interest, in Russians' best interest, to keep Ming. The reason for this is the state of Japan. The Asian alliance, originally when it was created, consisted of Manchu, of Hindustan, of Japan. These three nations were declared the Treaty of Beijing, which parted Ming into three territories. like third of it fell to Manchu, third of it fell to Hindustan, and third of it to Japan. From the moment the current player, which is DVD, took the control of Hindustan, Russia and all its allies were trying to have good relations with DVD, because I have to say I was a bit biased, because when he was playing Ottomans before, and there was a very good way and very good negotiations with DVD, considering the partition of the Golden Horde. We struck a deal, we followed it. There was a lot of things we wanted to do. We wanted to work together. The Ottomans actually wanted to, later on when we parted the Golden Horde, to join with Russia, and together we would create a huge block of land, cover each other's back, and work together, trade together, do whatever we wanted. So I was hoping that with Hindustan it would work the same way. But it never did, due to many reasons. Mainly there was a problem between Naples and Hindustan, which I was not able to handle. It was a really, well, puny conflict about the puny province. Doesn't really matter, I don't want to get into that too much, but I never had a problem with Hindustan, and the only reason why I was interested in the Ming conflict was because I did not consider it fair. Because it was presented as one-on-one, but it was basically 3-on-1, and even the nation was collapsing and everything, so I did not consider it a fair fight. Anyways, should I presented it another way? I understand my mistakes in this way, but still, this is my motivation behind it. And also, the way and reason why I always tried to protect Ming is that the state of Japan, which is played by Inferno 9666, was always incredibly hostile against Russia, against Regan pact, and whenever it could, it tried to, well, not only belittle us, but, well, it tried to break apart us, our allies. It always tried to hinder our plans. It declared itself the sole. At one point, it declared itself a sole owner of all the regions around Asia, including parts of Russia, which I declared before I want to take. And every time there was a way how they could try to hurt us, they did it. They did it all the time. They were always hostile. And I tried many times to close my eyes on this. I tried many times to ignore it. But every time I did that, another action took part in a week, in 14 days. Every time I was thinking that, okay, they turned their eyes elsewhere, they did it again. The last time I tried to have peaceful relations with Japan was when I got Korea. That was the last warning from Russia to Japan, that we're here and we're not gonna let them do whatever they want, hurt us or whatever. The thing is that Korea, for me, is a worthless piece of shit. It doesn't bring anything. I have to keep constant armies there. It all the time is the rebels. At least now I have the cores there, so it's the situation is a bit better. But the amount of gold it's giving me does not even pay for half the army I have to keep there. So it was just an act of warning, because again, there was several things that Japan did against Russia, and I was thinking, okay, we can no longer tolerate this. I'm fed up with all their hostility against us. So let's take Korea. They said they want Korea. Okay, I'm gonna take it first. But again, Japan reached us and said, we don't know why you took Korea, but we want at least this island. And I said, okay, you can talk with us. We don't hold any grudge against you. We'll give you the island. The plan behind this was to give them the island, and in case it will lead to at least a bit of warmth between us and them, to give them whole of Korea, because I really don't want it. I have no use for it, and well, I can't even sail there. I would have to sail around all in India to get there. It's a fucking waste of money, resources, and everything. But again, after we ceded that island, several things happened, which again showed that Japan is ultimately plotting against Russia. They just want us down, always wanted us down. And the reason for this is that our strains with the Beijing Treaty and the Far East Alliance, I'm not sure what they're called, Asian Alliance, I think. So again, Russia declared, we will not allow Japan to take any territory in on the Asian continent. They can take all their islands. We were not gonna do that. And the things that there was a huge discussion about this in the Regan pact when we found out against the actions of Japan, and I called like, okay, this cannot be worked anymore. We have to do something. And again, Shin in this instant was able to talk me out of it. He said, look, this is not good. We won't support this, and your retributions don't fit the cause. So I was okay. Fuck it. Let's just ignore it again. If Japan would not be plotting against us all the time, we would not give a damn about them taking Ming or the moon, or they could take whatever they want. We wouldn't really care. We don't take what we don't care. Whatever I don't know, like whatever Hindustan takes, it doesn't really matter to us. The same with Manchu. We struck a deal with Manchu on the exchange of territory. Blah blah blah. There were things in motion, and I don't really tend to grow anywhere in the South Asia. I don't want China for myself. The reason why I wanted to protect China and why I said many times that it is in our best interest to keep China intact is because I know that Japan is ultimately going to take the eastern border. I saw the Treaty of Beijing, and they plan to do that. And when they do, and they're gonna do, and Russia's gonna, in the current situation, if they do this, and Russia's gonna get into deep shit, as it's gonna take, because the vultures are near us, and they already smell our blood, they will eventually use this against us. Again, I know it, and every time I let Japan do whatever they wanted, it turned against me. So, in case Japan reached to us again and said, look, we want peace and nothing else, I would accept it. But I think you now can see my point. It's just letting them hurt us, injure us, tarnish our reputation, send spies, make plans against us, and we, so far, we did nothing except taking Korea. So, yeah, I guess now you can see why I did that. And there was no imperialism about it. I don't give a damn. A lot of you suggested attack Manchu. I don't want to. I don't care about Manchu. Actually, I would like to have good relations with Manchu, and before all that shit with Japan happened and the Treaty of Beijing, I was supporting Manchu's player, and I said, look, when we struck a deal that I would take those two provinces which you guys annoyed me about, that were sticking inside Russia, that I would take them, and in turn Russia would give all of its support to Manchu to take whatever they want from Ming. I never cared about this. I supported Manchu to grow, and I wanted it to grow. I wanted to have a peaceful southern front. Why would I take provinces that are worthless for me because of their culture, their religion, their whatever, when I don't have any reason to? Again, the imperialism is taking everything you want. I just don't want. I've grown enough now. I don't even think it's wise to grow anymore anywhere. I don't have anywhere more to expand, and I never plan to. I finished. Most of the players think that it's not that way, but that's another thing. Okay, well, I think I explained now about the Ming, about the ironical situation around Ming and what happened. So, not to mention that because of our strains with Russia, Japan had many German troops in it. Germany keeps a strong presence in Manchu. I saw their ships sailing around Japan many times, And you all know that the thing is that why Regan pact grew to what it grew is because there's this, it's an uneven fight. All of this time, it's an uneven fight. Germany and France are the two strongest nations in the game. They're so easy to get out of control, and the only reason why in most of European oversized game people are actually able to play any other nation is that they are on each other's throat all the time. If they allied, like it happened in our game, there's really nothing that can stop them. Just, you know, all of you are saying, oh, Russia is so big and everything, but check the numbers. I did all I could to keep up with them, and I'm doing it in case of military and everything. But Shin made a very nice point about how much more Germany is powerful in case of finances, stability, technology. All these things come into account, and in that case, Russia is fucked. I dare to say I could take one of them, but a combined force would sweep me, Sweden, Naples, Prussia, all of us. We would fall at this moment because they're allied and they're incredibly strong. And I don't even know what I would do in case, and we're back to square zero. If Japan attacked the Eastern Front, how would I be able to fight on two fronts? I have no idea. And that's what I was trying to prevent all of this time. But Manchu is allied with Japan, and if Japan has a land border with Manchu, its troops can easily reach Russia. See my point? Anyways, I've been talking about this for a long time, so let's move to another thing. Yeah, I'm thinking that I explained quite a lot. I had several points to make, and I think I made them all. The last thing that you guys should know is why I am talking about betrayal when it comes to Poland. The thing is that what Shin forgot to mention is that he never ever gave us any reason to doubt him, and even, I dare to say, 2 or 5 minutes before he actually broke our alliance, sent me warning, sent spies into my country, and said that he's allied with Germany. He assured me of him staying with us. He again never ever said that he needs anything. He can't blame us for doing something or not doing something when he never gave us any warning. Like, the alliance is based on equality, you know. Sweden is equal to Russia. There's no real... If Sweden would reach to us and said, look, we don't want you to do this, I would say, okay, why? Probably I would ask, why don't you want me to do this? And I would say this and this and this and this. And I would say, okay, I'm not gonna do it. The same goes vice versa. In case Sweden would attack some nation or trying to do something and I wouldn't like it, I would reach to it. There was many hardy discussions. There were many Prussia and Sweden are having sometimes very interesting conversations, which I think you should see, but you can because they're not recorded anywhere. Or maybe you saw them in some of the videos. They drive us crazy sometimes because it seems like they're gonna jump on each other and kill each other with knives. But we managed to move on. We work together. We're fine. This never worked with Poland under Shin's control. He actually sat there, were quiet, and basically let Germany buy him, because he declared it to me that Germany was feeding him money. They were just buying him point by point. He never ever raised his hand and said, look, we don't like this. And when he said, look, I don't want Russia invading Japan, I actually yielded. I was angry at Japan at the point, but I said, okay, because you're my ally, you don't want me to do this, I'm not gonna invade Japan. I'm not gonna attack them. I'm just gonna ignore it because you want me to do. How the hell can he then say that these are subject states? Why would Russia, in case it created its satellites or whatever he calls it, listen to his allies if this was a one-way street? Why? He forgets this, and yeah, he just sees it as Russia is a big threat, but he has no idea that Russia at this point is surrounded on all of its sides by enemies, and even one of these enemies, like Germany itself, makes enough money to financially deal with me, Sweden, Prussia, Naples, because it is swimming in inflation, and I think also Morocco, maybe even Scotland. All together, we make barely enough to fix what Germany is making. So this is really a defense pact against the most powerful nation who could do whatever it wants in case there was no one to stop it. And he basically said, fuck you guys, I'm just leaving and you do whatever you do. And I agree with him that with the person that was commenting on this, saying that he joined a nation which doesn't need any help, and he basically really betrayed us. It was a real betrayal. He planned it as a betrayal from all the. He said it from point one. I wanted to attack Russia. So in my eyes, all his arguments that he laid in the video, and in the light of what I tried to explain, they're all a deliberate way to just force people into thinking he did the right thing. He did not. He could have done it. I'm not saying it's not his right, but it was not the right thing to do based on these facts. And all he laid down in front of you, I tried to explain how it really happened, why Russia is expanding eastwards, why the Regan pact was created, why we fought with the Timurids, we never cut off our allies. All his arguments are basically invalid, except one, which is that yes, probably his territory would be first on the way, but again, now he's more of a buffer than he was ever before, because Russia was actually ready to protect his territory and die for him. I don't really think that Germany is ready to do that. And yeah, we're gonna see in the later episodes what this is gonna be like. So yeah, I guess this is all for the political special. I'm not even sure if anyone listened all the way through here. I'm just gonna finish my tea and head off to bed because tomorrow is a very important day. So I hope you guys now see the game in another light. I really don't know how much I say about these things in my videos. Yeah, because I try to keep these things to myself, because most of these things I just said could hurt me in a lot of ways, but I don't really think I could be in a much worse situation than I am right now, because I'm facing all of my enemies plus my allies. Not my allies, plus my former ally, and the shift in the power in the last 3 or 4 episodes was immense. We have 1, 2, 3. I think we have 3 new players. No, 2 new players. All of them joined Germany, and one of our allies turncoated and joined them as well. So the situation might not really be much worse than it is now. I don't really think it could. So yeah, but I wanted the challenge. That's why in the first part I picked Ireland, if any one of you remember, and Novgorod was chosen to me as a challenge, and it is a challenge. It's a very big nation right now, but very poor, and if I had enough time, I think I could do great things with it. But yeah, I guess it's not gonna happen because the vultures, as I said, are above my head, going down on me, and yeah, we're all gonna die for the Regan pack. I'm gonna die for my allies. I'm gonna protect them, and hopefully this is gonna work in a way that I can at least make it till the end of the game. I would like to. Again, I'm not sure how I will be able to do so. Well, we'll see. We'll see. No way to think about dark thoughts, and as the Greeks used to say, "Molon Labe."